Just want to tell you one other thing. Does Mitt Romney know how the rest of us live?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you know what he does. Did he make a lot of money? Yeah, he made a lot of money. We read Think and Grow Rich together. He read it better than I did. But when we were young married students at BYU, we lived in the same apartment building for a period of time. Mitt and Ann lived in a semi-subterranean apartment down here, the one you go down the stairwell in, you know. And we lived up on the first floor. We paid $85 a month. Mitt and Ann paid $75 a month. Now, it so happened a year later they moved out, and we were still going to be there for a little bit, so we moved in. Because $10 meant a lot. When we'd want to go out to dinner together, well, we didn't use money to go out to dinner. We got spaghetti, well, we got hamburger, well, we got lettuce, we got tomatoes. Hey, let's have a spaghetti dinner. I will tell you what their dining room table looked like. It was a card table. Shall I tell you what the dining room chairs looked like? What do you call it? Orange crate. Mitt Romney and Ann, I'm sure that their parents had some trust for them and so forth, but they were choosing to live the way everybody else lives. Could they have done more? Well, undoubtedly he could have done better. But I do know that when Mitt got, at least Mitt told me that his dad told him, when you get married, son, that means you have responsibility of supporting a wife and family. You're so eager to get married right now. Don't blame you. Ann's a lovely girl, but you're taking on a responsibility. I'll tell you something else. We went to medical school in Detroit, and during that, and we lived in the area of Bloomfield Hills where Mitt's family lived. I won't go into the story of how we ended up in such a neat community, but we did, and it was we were taking care of the property of a GM executive, is what it was, and we brought down the average income of Oakland County that year. I know, but those 4 years. But at any rate, I got to know his father and his mother. It was a great thrill for me, my boyhood hero. I was now living in the same area and got to know him, and he knew me on a first name basis. Wow, neat experience for me. But I also learned that the privet bushes that lined their driveway up to their house had all been planted by Mitt, his brother Scott, and their dad. George Romney believed that if young men didn't learn to work and work hard, they wouldn't be worth a darn. Mitt Romney is one of the hardest workers I know. Silver spoon in the mouth, well, his dad grew into his wealth. I suppose you're also all aware of the fact that when Mitt finally did inherit money from his father and mother, you know what he did with it? Yeah, donated it to charity. He made a memorial sort of foundation for his father in terms of developing a George W. Romney School of Entrepreneurship or something. I think that's what it's called at Brigham Young University. But he also gave that to charity. One final thing, did you all get to see the testimonials that were given of Mitt of his pastoral role when he was in Boston this was at the Republican convention? The networks didn't show it. But there were people who, and I won't take the time to tell their stories, but very touching, powerful stories. Testimonials of him are numerous. Well, I want to tell you, this country needs a man, a person, in this case, the man, Mitt Romney. We need someone who has the compassion for what people are experiencing, knows what joblessness does to them. He counseled hundreds of people who were without work in his pastoral responsibilities. While he was doing that in Boston, I was doing the same thing in Roanoke. And so I know what he was doing. You weep with those who are weeping. You rejoice with those who have cause to rejoice. And you feel for those who are lacking. And you do everything within your power to help them. That's Mitt Romney. The country needs a person of that character, of that integrity. The country needs a person not only who has those qualities, but also who knows how to turn failing enterprises around. And there's nobody in the country who knows how to turn around failing enterprises like Mitt Romney does. That's why he can be confident in saying to Ann when she says, Mitt, if you run, can you turn it around? And he said, yes, I can. And she said, then we're doing it. I hope that every one of us will do everything within our power. This is an election of extreme importance. This is not just, well, I don't have to tell you that, you know that. Please, thank you for all you're doing. Please continue. Please do whatever it takes to get out the vote, to persuade neighbors, to help. I so appreciated yesterday a lovely young woman down in our area who came over to my sister's house where my mother, who's turning 89 tomorrow, she came over to their house to help them fill out an absentee ballot because of concern that if her health were to fail, she might not be able to get to the polls. And so they did. To the extent you can do things like that, to help people to be able to get to the polls, to help them vote, to persuade them that this matters. I love the points that Frank made. Wow, powerful. Is it okay if I plagiarize and adopt that, Frank? All right, thank you.